Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers around the world. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. I'm very excited to be talking about our Gold Neonatal Online Conference 2024 coming up very, very soon. And today, I'm absolutely delighted to share with you that Dr. Nils Bergman will be our opening keynote. Now, why is that important? Well, for several reasons that we do have Dr. Bergman with us, but I will say that his presentation is going to be open access and free. And so that means you can head over to Gold Neonatal right now at goldneonatal.com to register for this free presentation. It is such a delight to have you back, Nils. Thank you so much for joining me here today. How have you been recently?
Well, thank you. And thank you, Fiona. I'm right now living in Stockholm, Sweden, in the capital. I had dreamt of living in the country, but I have 3 children living here and soon 6 grandchildren.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
what choice do I have but to move to the city?
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful thing to have children and grandchildren so close.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And so you're very busy, I know, as always, with the grandchildren, but you're also in a cycle of speaking as well. I know that you're getting very busy this year, which is really exciting. Now, for those of you perhaps who have not, heard Dr. Nils Bergman yet, you're in for an absolute treat. He's going to be sharing with us the power and impact of nurture science and immediate skin-to-skin contact. Nils, we seem to know so much about skin-to-skin contact, but at a very basic level, I'm still explaining it to people after, 25 years of the absolute importance for healthy, normal babies that, are born at term and vaginally. Your work has focused a lot on preterm babies as well and how they're impacted in the long term. Are you still discovering, new things about skin to skin, or is it just now standard practice, get to it, if you're not doing it, you should be doing it. Tell me a little bit about what you've discovered.
That was a mouthful, Fiona. A whole lot of pieces there. So where would I start? Perhaps at the very beginning.
Hmm.
Yes. Well, what's the beginning? Somewhere in the middle. So yes, I am still working on this, not full time. The grandchildren want half the time, and you want the other half. But I'm
Yes.
grateful for that also. So I'm still writing. I'm still involved. Uh, and back in 2016, I kind of withdrew completely because I was focusing on consulting, working, implementing the immediate kangaroo mother care study,
Mm,
which decreased mortality by 25%, which is an
huge.
astonishing, startling result. Um, and recruitment stopped early, but still only 1 month before the lockdown of the pandemic.
Mm,
So the lockdown of the pandemic, everything stalled, and I moved to Sweden, and it was a time to look after my family. My father passed away in our care. The children were all born here and doing great. The grandchildren doing great. The children look after us nowadays and tell us what to do. So this is good. Uh, but now, last year, a year ago, almost exactly, 16th of May, I think it was, the World Health Organization released a global position paper
hmm
on kangaroo mother care and a implementation strategy. And it says infants, small and sick, high income and low income countries should be put with mother and not in an incubator. There's black and white.
Right.
And it allows that this is contrary to previous advice they used to give and common practice.
Mm.
So your question, I think I'm coming to answer it eventually.
No, that's good.
Yes.
You're laying the groundwork. That's awesome.
So this actually is still my passion. This is still
Mm.
driving. This is still needing to happen. And so what is it? And why is it so difficult? I will address this somewhat, a little bit, in my presentation, which is a month from now, approximately. I have some views, ideas of looking at it, and some practical advice to go forward. But at the very, very beginning, what is very difficult to get is that skin-to-skin contact is not a kind of care. Skin-to-skin care, kangaroo care, this is not at all what we're talking about. Skin-to-skin contact from a basic biology, nurture science that I refer to, is a place. It's a place for care. Care doesn't change. Any care that's needed is exactly the same. The difference is it's a place that makes the baby's brain feel safe.
Mm.
Does that matter? Yes, because if it's unsafe, it wires differently. It wires to cope with a hard, harsh, bad world. And so this I also explain in some details. But basically, you need a safe place to wire an emotional connection to your mother. Your mother then wires inside you, baby, resilience, the capacity to cope with stress. Otherwise, stress will cope you, will manage you, instead of you managing stress. And the reason is, if the world really is bad, then being stress wired is necessary. And if you're not safe, then it's necessary. If you're safe, you can wire yourself to be stress resistant, and we call that resilient. This does matter profoundly. So this still drives me. Yes, there is a turning of the tide, I would feel. Yes, it is, the mindset is shifting. I use the word shift when I talk about a paradigm. And a paradigm is a way of viewing reality, but it's about assumptions and beliefs. Now, we practice evidence-based medicine, and we have proper assumptions and beliefs. But for 100 years, we've had a wrong assumption and a false belief. And that is that it's okay to separate a mother and a baby. It isn't. Zero separation is then the public health message that I want to convey. The single overriding communication objective, zero separation. Why? Because there is actually a science, an underlying science, which I'm calling nurture science. Mm. And why does it matter? And I'm coming to the end of a small soliloquy here. Are you still there, Fiona?
I'm still with you.
The Convention of the Rights of the Child talks about the child, and it says the child's best interests are paramount. When it was written, we didn't know that the child started off as a neonate, as an infant. And so now, what are the child's best interests at birth? Nurture science puts this there. So this still has to happen. A deeper understanding, assumption, belief, practice, way of viewing reality. It does matter how we are born.
Mm. Wow. Well, thank you so much. Your continued insight, and I feel like, I'm always absorbed by what you're saying. I'm stuck on the numbers, 25% improvement, and when you looked at the infants, just quickly, can you tell me, you looked at the infants and how they survived, grew, and all those types of things. What about the parents? What is their response when they do this type of behavior as well? Did you look at that as well, Nils?
In the immediate kangaroo mother case study, which was in India and 4 African countries, we had a single small 9-question test called the PHQ-9.
Yes.
And the control mothers gave a very high positive experience because they got kangaroo mother care before they went home when their babies were stable. But the intervention group got even higher.
Right.
But we didn't look at it in more detail. Parallel to the immediate kangaroo mother care study, we have the immediate parent-infant skin-to-skin study here in Stockholm, where I'm living, attached to the Karolinska Institute, and in Stavanger, Norway. There, we actually are measuring very directly. And this is using the exact same skin-to-skin technique, but only for 6 hours.
Okay.
Only 6 hours.
Right.
I can tell you 2 of the results in a month's time. But we're still analyzing and still coming through the data. And the answer is there is profoundly significant, in the statistical sense, impact on the parents.
Amazing. Amazing. So come back for more. That's really what you're leaving us with. We have to come back for part 2 and 3. You're going to be with us actually for, it feels like it's going to be a day. There'll be a break in between, but you're actually speaking twice in order to make sure that people around the world can actually join your presentation live, no matter where they live. And of course, it will be recorded as well for those who need that convenience. So be sure to head over to goldneonatal.com right now and register for this very important event. Dr. Nils Bergman, thank you so much for all that you have done and all that really you continue to do in our communities, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you for joining me here today. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye for now, everyone.